Good afternoon on your Thursday. I'm Julie Broughton. The time now is 12:36. It's time for Take 6. This is when we hang out a little bit, normally after our noon newscast, but we didn't have a noon newscast today because of March Madness. But we talk about what's going on here at News 6, what we're working on that you'll see later today in our newscast. And today, we're so excited to talk about March Madness. As I said, the reason that we didn't have a noon today and we will not have a 4 today, because everyone is so excited to be watching basketball. And joining me now, News 6 sports reporter Nathaniel Rivas, talking all things March Madness. Nathaniel, welcome to Take 6. This is your first time on Take 6, right?
That's right, Julie. I appreciate, like you said, it's a great time of the year. We don't have a newscast and everything, but
Yeah.
it's March Madness. You can't really get mad about that, right?
Yeah, and what I will say about March Madness, and you've probably gathered this doing Nathaniel's take with me, which is what we air on News 6 at 4, sometimes where we get your take on different sports events. And sometimes doing this, I'm like, oh gosh, I'm not really a sports person. I don't follow. I need to be engaged. I love March Madness, even though I'm not typically your everyday sports fan. And that's one thing that makes it so great. And we have a lot of excitement here in Central Florida because we're talking about Stetson in March Madness.
That's right. Stetson Hatters right out of here in DeLand, Florida. They're in the big dance, the NCAA tournament, I should say, for the first time ever in school history. I was there yesterday in DeLand, watching the team get sent off on the buses. I've been there the last couple of days at practices. I talked to the coach and the players. They said they're not really nervous about this. They're just anxious to get out there on the big stage. They're going to be in Brooklyn, New York. They're already there. They left yesterday, like I said. And their first game is not an easy task. It's number one overall and defending national champion, the UConn Huskies. They played them on Friday at 2:45 right here on News 6. But, Stetson's happy to be there, but they feel like they can play. They can contest with anybody. And really in March Madness, all you need is one game. All you need is that 1% chance to do it. Number 16 seed has won twice against the number one seed. So it's not impossible, but daunting task, absolutely.
Yeah, and so you were out there. I imagine that the energy there the last couple of days when you were talking to the team, talking to the coaches, I just can't imagine the level of excitement that they're feeling right now.
Yeah, they were super excited to say the least. Some of the players told me they said, "I've never been to New York, never been to Brooklyn, never been up in that area." So just being there, the gravity of that whole tournament, like you said, it's a big deal. Whether you're a sports fan or you're not, there's so many games that happen, and there's such a big emphasis that's put on March Madness. People know the name, whether they know college basketball or they know certain teams. They know what the NCAA tournament is, and the fact that Stetson made it right here from DeLand, Florida. It's some of those players were saying it's a dream come true. It's what you dream
Yeah.
about when you play high school, when you go to college, being like, hey, I want to make it to the end, not just win your conference, win a tournament, but make it to the tournament, make it to the place you want to be at the end. There's no better feeling. So the players, the coaches, they're all excited. The fans were out there yesterday giving them a nice send off. They were
Oh,
driving
yeah.
through downtown DeLand and everything before they got to the airport. So it's great to see the community being brought together, and everybody else is just super excited for Stetson. You can't really
Yeah.
be be mad about that.
Yeah, exactly. We're all super excited to watch tomorrow. And I know one thing we like to do here at News 6, we have our bracket challenge. We all fill out our brackets. So I need to know, since you're a sports expert, who do you have taking it all? What is your thinking for your bracket now that, I can't go change mine now, so you can share your wisdom?
Yeah, so I kind of went back and forth. The number one seeds in each section, which is UConn, Houston, Purdue, and North Carolina. Those are all pretty solid picks. You can't really go against them. But I mean, Houston, they're a great defensive team. When they played in the Big 12 championship, they had some struggles there. North Carolina didn't win the ACC tournament. Purdue didn't win the Big Ten tournament, but you can bet they're going to go to the Final Four. I didn't pick a number one seed to win. I picked Marquette out of one
Okay.
side of the bracket, probably playing against maybe UConn in the end. The reason why I picked them is Marquette was one of the teams that played UConn early on in the season. I can't remember off the top of my head if they beat them or not, but I know it was a closely contested game. They were very, very highly ranked throughout the entire year. So any of those, that's who I picked to
Okay.
win. But if you pick someone like a North Carolina, like my girlfriend did the bracket too, I
Hmm.
watched her do it. She picked North Carolina, and it's not a bad pick. North Carolina's been very good throughout the
Yeah.
year. You can't really go wrong with any of those teams, but we always love a Cinderella story. We always love to see what can happen, whether it's Stetson or a different number 12 seed or 14 seed making it as long as they can. You never know, which
Yeah.
is the beauty of March Madness.
Yes. Do you have any idea who I picked?
That's a great question.
Okay, so I
I don't
pick.
know.
Here's your hint. I pick the same team every year, no matter what seed they are. That is my method. So every does that any idea?
Hmm. So the team that's
Donovan says
been
he
there,
knows. Yeah.
it's been there a lot all the time. I'm gonna say Duke. I feel like
Okay.
Duke might be the team you pick.
Okay, now I'm going to reveal who I pick, and you're going to know exactly why it's not Duke. So every year I pick Kentucky, no matter what their seed is. I'm still traumatized from
Okay.
that Duke Kentucky game in '91, so I definitely did not pick them. But this year, just for fun, I made Kentucky and Tennessee the final two, which, probably isn't going to happen, but that's every year I just pick based on nostalgia of my childhood and make it Kentucky if they're in
I will say that's a pretty good pick. I'm not
it.
gonna say it's
Yeah.
a bad pick. That's a good pick because Kentucky, they didn't have the best start to the season, but some of the players got hurt and they came
Hmm.
back, and so they're at the end of the season. They put everything together. In
Yeah.
Tennessee, they won the regular season SEC championship title. They didn't win the conference itself. And neither did Kentucky. Neither did some of these other teams that are number one, number two, number three seeds. And John Calipari's the coach. You can't. It's not bad to bet against him. It's not
Right.
bad to bet with him. So I don't
Yep.
blame you for that pick. I think it's a good pick. You never
Yes.
know.
So that is my logic. So next year when we're doing this and I say, "Hey, do you know who I picked?" If Kentucky's in the tournament, you know that it's them. Even if they're a 16 seed, that will be who I pick every year. So that's my logic. That's my non-expertise speaking. But I think they'll do well.
Hey, it's a Kentucky's a solid household name in college basketball, so it's not a bad pick. I said it's a good
Exactly.
pick, Julie. You did pretty well.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm expecting to really take this bracket challenge this year. Do you happen to know offhand if people, well, I guess, can people still enter their brackets, Donovan, or is it over? You can't do it now. It's done. If you haven't entered, it's over. It's over. So I guess we'll just be posting our results and trash talking each other as we move through the next few weeks with who does well. Lisa Bell always does really well, but she has her fifth grade or her fourth grade son fill hers out, and he always does really well. So she often comes out at the top. So we'll see.
Yeah, I
Uh,
will. I will say last year with my bracket, I did it. My bracket was busted very, very early on. I
yeah.
think I picked Purdue to win or something. They lost
Okay.
second, third round or something like that. So it was my bracket was done very, very early on. So I'm not the
Yeah.
best at these brackets.
They're always the bracket busters. That's what makes it so much fun. All right, Nathaniel. Well, thank you so much for stopping by and chatting all things March
Of
Madness.
course.
It's been fun. We'll see you soon.
Thanks, Joey. I appreciate it. Have a good one.
You too. All right, let's get a check of your weather. I was just out at Lake Eola shooting some stories. We're working on a really cool story you'll see coming up in the next few weeks for Women's History Month. Beautiful day to be outside shooting some of those stand-ups. Gorgeous blue sky out there. As we take a look at the satellite and radar imagery for you, you'll see very little cloud cover to track. No rain out there. However, all of that will change as we continue to move looks like into tomorrow is when we'll see some showers moving into the area. Feeling nice out there. Right now it is 74 degrees in Orlando. 71 in Ocala, 74 in Cape Canaveral. Melbourne, you are checking in at 73 degrees. Here's a look at the temperature change over the past 24 hours. We are beginning to warm things up. We are 7 degrees warmer in Orlando right now than we were yesterday at this time, and 7 degrees warmer in Ocala. Today we're on our way to a high of 82 in Orlando. That is a little bit warmer than normal. 81 in the Villages, 80 in Leesburg, and 74 in Daytona Beach. That rain moves in for us tomorrow as a front moves into the area. We'll start to see some showers as soon as overnight tonight. Rain chances tomorrow are at 90% with a high of 74. Behind that system, we keep it windy for Saturday and Sunday. Sunday, 73 for our high. And then heading into next week, we go right back into the mid-80s by next Tuesday. Now, a reminder, we will not have News 6 at 4 today. We'll be picked back up after March Madness with News 6 at 5. Chief Meteorologist Tom Sorrells will be here breaking down all that rain that is heading our way. Of course, meteorologist Jonathan Kagis is always around on digital and streaming for you throughout the day talking about this weather system. Ginger and Matt will see you on News 6 at 5. Thank you so much for stopping by, and we'll see you tomorrow.